Mr. Mortgage, Doug Carroll with Ruoff Home Mortgage, and I am pleased to be sitting here with Mr. Jim Bradley, owner of Century 21 Bradley here in Fort Wayne. Jim, thanks for having us to your office here on DuPont Road.
You're welcome. Glad to be with you.
Well, jump right in. Tell us, if you would, Jim, tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you a Fort Wayne native? Are you from Fort Wayne originally? And you know, just a little bit about the Jim Bradley story.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Still live here my whole life. Grade school, high school, college. I went to Indiana University, Fort Wayne. Graduated in business administration. And then my dad encouraged me to get a real estate license when I was with a corporate job, traveling all over the country. Got to tremendous sales training at a corporate Fortune 500 company. So I had obviously a big work ethic when I was a kid. I had paper outs, grade school, high school, put myself through college, and I had to go to work when I was in 5th grade. So I was, born and raised here, and my dad said, get a real estate license. And so I got a license. I said, no, I don't think so. But then I decided I didn't want to travel 4 nights a week, so I got in the real estate business. And thank God I did, because I had a tremendous work ethic, and I had 2 years of sales training in a big Fortune 500 company. And the rest is history. I sold 60 homes the first year, and here I am.
Yeah, I think you've done pretty well for yourself. Yeah, I think that was a smart move to get your real estate license for sure. I'm not going to guess your age. I don't know your age, but I'm not going to hazard a guess. But one thing I've always been really impressed about, Jim, since I've known you, is the kind of youthful excitement and energy that you put off really on a daily basis. I mean, I never see you when you're not excited. Where does that energy and that excitement come from?
That's a really good question. I get, enthusiasm is, the word is geos, it's God within you, but I was born and raised on a lake, and so fortunately I learned how to water ski, and my brother was a professional water skier, and I learned how to ski on my feet when I was in 5th grade, and competed when I was in high school and college, and was a state champion, and believe it or not, at this very moment, I skied yesterday, and the day before, and at this point in time in year, this is summer is in the air, and I get in better shape now than I've ever been in my life. And every year I kind of improve that. So I'm actually healthier and stronger, and physically stronger than I was 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I always ask people, how young are you? So I think we grow up, and everybody thinks that we're going to get older, but I'm getting younger. And I got to tell you, I work hard at getting physically fit, like really hard, and it gives me energy, and it flops over to the real estate business or my business. So it's really exciting that, I pray hard and work hard, and I want to get in better shape every year. Being
the #1 Century 21 Bradley office in the world, correct me if I'm wrong, for 2 years in a row.
Correct.
You have been, Century 21 Bradley has been the #1 closed units.
Yep, closed homes.
Century 21 office in the world. How is that possible in little old Fort Wayne, Indiana?
I had my eye on that like in the 90s, because they changed the structure. It used to be just sales volume, and they leveled the playing field by saying, hey, the average sales price in these Midwest cities is lower than California, New York, Florida. So they started putting out awards on. So we got in the top 10, and my son was born in 91 or 2, and somewhere in there. And we got in the top 10, and a lot of people don't know this. We've been in the top 10 every single year since 1992. And then we were, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 2. We knew where we were. It's kind of like finishing Indy 500 second. We finished this one first in 2017. Almost did in 16. So what that means is they rank people based on the number of homes you close in a month, in a quarter, in a year per office. And we just kept inching our way up there, and all of a sudden we wake up, and now I get calls from people all over the country all the time. I'll be in Hilton Head with about 50 people who want to hear me talk about this. They're like, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, look, we just did it. It's that whole concept to start small, finish big, and then, I think that year, 1992, we did 531 homes, 41 million. Now we do, last month we did 84 million, and I think the next year, following year, we did 83 million, 84 million in the early 90s. Now we do that much a month. It's like, you ask Michael Jordan. He's like, I was just a little shooter who kept on shooting. That's what he would say. So would LeBron James. They would say it. Just a little shooter who kept on shooting.
Right. Now, is that the hardware back there?
Oh, yeah. This one here, listen, I've got hundreds of trophies, but this one here, Praise God. This one says, number one office in the world for sales closings 2018 for Century 21, Central and Bradley Realty. Yeah, that's it, baby.
That is crazy.
That's our Super Bowl champion trophy. So we love it. And it's, I got top salespeople say, Jim, it makes a difference when I'm competing for a listing because I'm like, look, we have a TV show for 20 some years. We're open 12 hours a day. We used to do 41 million. You know, now we're on our way to doing 840 million. It's just a blessing. You know, it's all a miracle. It's all a miracle. It's all I can tell you. It's a miracle.
Looks kind of like the World Cup, the trophy they use for the World Cup in soccer. That's very impressive. Very
It's
cool.
just exciting, and the most exciting thing is because we've learned how to think bigger. I mean, you know, we're doing 4,000. We're looking at 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 deals a year out of this office, and people are like, "Whoa!"
So how long have you owned? When did you start Century 21 Bradley, and kind of take us through the numbers as to where you were year one to where you're at or for this year?
Oh Lord, 77. I started the company, did $5 million. That was before you were born. About the first franchise ever. There was
close to before I was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always tell people.
I
that.
appreciate you saying that though. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, everybody said to me back in 77, 78, what Century? What Century 21? We didn't have any franchises. There were none of these other guys. Won't use their names, but I bought the first franchise. I was I had a coffee chat with the guy that founded Remax about 2 years ago, and he had a cane. He said, "Sit down, son. I want to hear your story." And I tell him my whole story, and he goes, "Why didn't you buy in our business?" I said, "Sir, you didn't exist." He goes, "What?" I go, "I was before your time." I bought the very first Century 21 franchise in the Midwest, guy out of Indianapolis, and I did. So, yeah, I stayed with it, and you know, it was rough, but hung in there, and by the early 90s, we got in the top 10 offices. How about that? And we stayed in there. That's what people don't realize. They're like, took us 20 some years to get to number one. We were in the top 10 for 20 some years.
I had no idea.
I know a lot of people don't know the background on that.
Here's a couple questions to wrap it up. This one, what is the one thing, Jim, and you may have touched on it earlier, but I'll ask it again. What is the one thing you can attribute your success to the most?
Yeah, guys, that's a really good question, okay? I mean, obviously, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I used to sleep till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Well, you know, I got a few years older, and I realized that there's a lot can happen at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. So I get up every morning early. Like, I was up this morning at 4:30, and yeah, I go to bed early. So early to rise makes you healthy and wise. So I get a lot more done, and I think what happens is, you hit goals, and then you're like, okay, what are you going to do next? So then I'm into 5 and 10 year goals, okay, and I really mean that. I think a month goals are good, 6 months are good, but I'm into 5-year goals, and I think that it pushes me, it propels me into the future. So I'm always thinking ahead. It reminds me of Roger Delagrange, who's a great developer. He shows me his development, then he drives me over to shows me this vacant land. I'm like, what's this? He's like, that's development next year and the following year and the following year. And I'm like, whoa. So developers have to think way in advance. Well, guess what? We're developers of our own talent. We have to think way in advance, way in advance. So you don't wake up someday and say, hey, what's going on here? We got to predict how much we're going to earn, how much we're going to invest, and where we're going to be. And the more you learn, the more you earn. And there's no end to this business. All my brothers and sisters retired early, except my one brother. And so I said, oh, wow, he's not going to retire, which I love, because I'm like, that dude's like one of the top windsurfers in the world. And he's in his 80s. And this guy is a lot older than me. And I'm like, okay, you're asking me where it comes from. I mean, I love my business. I just don't think, unless God takes me, I plan on retiring, because I feel like you can accomplish more in your last 5 or 10 or 15, 20 years than you did your whole life.
Right.
So your best years are ahead of you. That's my point.
Awesome. You're a lifelong native here of Fort Wayne.
Right.
And I've lived here for about 25 years, and I think that in the last 10 to 15 years especially, I've seen a lot of change. Right. A lot of positive change,
right,
especially downtown, things going on with the river and the GE project. What is your favorite thing about Fort Wayne right now?
We're on the move. We got people running for politics, but Eric Dillon was a good client friend of mine, and when he took over down there to do what he did, and he helped, in my opinion, engineer this new vision for Fort Wayne, And obviously, Fort Wayne is changing a lot downtown. And obviously, in the paper, it talked about our growth. I think there's 287,000 people, look in our area here. But I think geographically, we probably have more, with this regional hospital right across the street. I mean, we're in one of the hottest spots in the country. A few years back, I was in a meeting in Indianapolis and said, Perry Lake's the hottest township in the country. This was like a few years back. And I remember saying, what? So, we're really, obviously, average sales price has come up a lot because of the market. We're now, creeping up there. But Fort Wayne's on the move. Fort Wayne downtown is definitely on the move. Young people are moving back. And we're not dying, we're growing. Because Fort Wayne's growing downtown, it's affecting the whole region. And then we have all these great businesses that are growing around us. I don't know where to begin and end on that. I mean, it's unbelievable, all these businesses that are moving here because of all this growth. And it's really because of our politicians and our leaders downtown. And yeah, Fort Wayne is, it's a great place to live and work, and I'm just thankful to watch it all happen because I was around long enough to see where everybody's moving out of Fort Wayne. Mm-hmm. They gave us up for dead.
Yep.
So it's been great to see the revitalization of Fort Wayne downtown.
Absolutely. Well, Jim, that's all I have. I appreciate you having us to your office.
Hey, Doug, thanks.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, man.
Hope you enjoyed getting to know Mr. Jim Bradley, owner of Century 21 Bradley, just a little bit better. And we're excited to see what the next few years have to hold, and hopefully you can keep a hold of that #1 spot.
Yep.
I'm sure you will, Century 21 Bradley.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right.
See you.